here's a little like mini demonstration on essentially the 3 Ks of karate. Karate is based up in 3 parts. It's the Kyo, which is the basic techniques, punches, blocks, kicks. Kata, which are the substance of the system, meaning it wouldn't be a style if you didn't have specific kata and pattern that you went through, which the self-defense type stuff is in. I'm going to show a couple self-defense techniques. Not going to get crazy jealous, because we're obviously not matted, and I don't want to get anybody hurt. And the third part of karate is kumite. There are so many different types of kumite. The kumite that you see on TV with the Olympics, with the bouncing around and the punching and the kicking, is not really kumite. It's a form of kumite, but it's really sparring. Real kumite in the old days did not have the foam gloves and the foam pads, and there was throws, and they were actually bleeding when they struck someone. It's really gotten watered down because of lawsuits and stuff, etc., etc. Nobody wants to see Johnny and Susie get hurt, right? Back in the day, the martial arts was not taught to children. It's been in the United States. It's been taught in Japan and Asia to children for a very long time. But they have a very different culture than we do. Since folks started learning that they could make money off the martial arts, then they opened up the children and the kids program, and etc., etc. That's why adults believe that karate won't work in the street. It's all MMA, right? Real karate will work in the street. Nobody trained, very few schools train the real way. And they all train the sport way. But my students know it's a lot of fun to go to tournaments. They do very well in tournaments, but they know that's not real karate. That's the sport aspect of it. It's not the self-defense aspect of it. So without further ado, I'll have them line up. We'll go through some basics. We'll go through, we'll demonstrate a couple kata, do a little board breaking, and maybe I'll break that concrete wall. So guys, we'll line up over here, just like when we start class, do that.
Xander, stand right in front, maybe. Or that works.
So when we start class, after we do our stretching, we do our basic punches and blocks, and the stand's called keep it on. So keep it on for a stance. This stance is made to strengthen the leg, and if you do it right, it gets pretty painful pretty quick. The proper way to do the stance is have your feet forward, your knees bent, and your back straight, and sit right back down on your box. So you feel that tension all through your lower back. We do Keto basics probably for about 20 minutes, so your legs are pretty wiggly wobbly when you're not used to it, you're just starting out. So we'll do punches first. So, shoot on, A karate punch does not punch like this. A karate punch punches with only these 2 knuckles. It lines up straight with the shoulder. The Japanese, the Koreans, most of them will punch like this with only these 2 knuckles. The Okinawans, my system, we punch with the wrist turned ever so slightly. So the knuckles fold under and they won't get broken as easily when you strike a hard surface or strike somebody. So, San, Shi, Yo, Yame. You see all the students are turning their fist upside down. A karate punch is called a corkscrew punch. The purpose of that is when you strike an individual coming from a corkscrew, shooting those knuckles, all the energy goes to those knuckles and it also twists. So it doesn't cause exterior damage, it causes interior damage. That's the reasoning behind the way that punch is delivered. And we'll just do a couple basic blocks. Rising block. I, San, Chi. Purpose of block. Now, the Japanese word block is uk. Everyone around the world believes that a block would be to deflect someone striking at you, correct? You see all that type of stuff in different schools. The definition of the Japanese word uk is to receive. So it's not meant to deflect. That's all sportization. That's all stuff that's not true. That people just don't know. So, Michi Sensei is throwing a punch at me. Most sport karate practitioners would say this is a deflection, right? To get rid of it. Our system doesn't. Our system wants to be right here, right in their lunch money. Okay? So once I make contact with her body, I have a hook, and I don't let go. And I do something like in our kata, I'm not going to just step back in, but I'll show the technique. I do something with that hook and step in, maybe elbow, break the jaw, break the nose, fight's over. You're getting that sport-minded situation, like many schools teach. Right in here, okay, I blocked that punch, then they step back out of the way because they don't want to get hit or touched again, okay? Then all of a sudden it's a new fight. The person has an opportunity to hit you or hurt you again. Once you make contact with the body, keep a hold of the body till the fight's over. End the fight. Now we'll do a couple of basic things. About fighting stance. This is called a Zenkutsudachi in Japanese. The word Zenkutsudachi means front stance. Not really a true Zenkutsudachi because we stand in our fighting stance a little higher. The real Zenkutsudachi is 70% of your weight forward, 30 back here. Well, you can't be very mobile when you're doing that, right? So it's not practical to fight in that stance. So we do basic kicks. Leg area. Front kick, ish. Hit. San. Chi. Go. Area. Roundhouse kick. Ish. On. See. Go. Local Gary. Which is a side kick. Ish. Knee. On. See. Go. Those are our three main and our three basic kicks. We don't throw fancy techniques. Fancy techniques are not practical in defending yourself. We do not kick to the head. Our style believes that if you kick above 90 degrees, it's not going to be self-defense effective. You can get caught. They like to get caught. They can take you to the ground. Don't want to be on the ground. Okay? Most of the kicks and stuff are delivered from waist down in a self-defense situation. Now we're going to demonstrate what some of those basic techniques can do. We're going to break a couple boards, and then we're going to go into kata, and then I'll break the concrete, hopefully. Stand uphill, okay? What do you want to do first? Front kick first? Come on, let me get set. You ready?
Xander, make sure you key eye.
Now what? What do you want to put now? Hot? I'll break the roundhouse kick. Get your toes curled, dude. Hey, you're not gonna like it. One more time. Good card, focus. Saw, good job. Big kick. That looks like a good gate board.
I'm doing a live video. That'll work.
Kick through it, Gabe. Don't break my fingers. Get set. Oh, drive through. Drive through. It's gonna hurt your foot. Try the other foot, or you want to try one more time? Nope. I gotta get it today. Want to try something else? What? Palm strike. No more. No more. You're gonna get hurt. Brace.
Sometimes you break some, sometimes you don't. Might be him with the concrete. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Not Hollywood, guys. It's real wood. Okay? It's tough to do. You want me lower or higher? Keep in the brain. Okay, thanks. Now we have kata, which is where the substance of the system comes from. That's where the self-defense techniques are. So, who wants to do form first? What do you want to do? Find a spot where you're not gonna, where you're training.
You got room?
I have room. I'm not going to kick anywhere now.
This kata is a black belt form. It's called Shinto, and it emphasizes a lot of one-leg stances for balance and agility type practice. She's going to do Kuinmoro Hakasuru. Hakasuru means white train. It's very Chinese form, and it's at the 5th degree black belt level. She's only a 1st degree black belt, so she's very knowledgeable in the system. Well,
Good job.
see a lot of these type techniques, open hand techniques, moving back and forth. That's getting rid of or grabbing your opponent. There's many joint locks and stuff that we do use out of those techniques. I'll show you one right now. Some side grab. One things that we will do in a joint lock is not try to get rid of the person. We want to hold on to them, have them here with us, have them hold, right? You see this type of deflected movement in that kata. One of the first ways we teach to shed a grip or a grab like this is to simply work towards the thumb, so you make your hand big and work towards the thumb, just like in that kata. Very simple, right? Other types of grab escapes that we do are the simplest of things. Simply work towards the thumb, back towards your own chest. Strike.
So,
Or simply clapping your hands together. Sounds silly, right? But it'll work.
we're almost done.
Turn your hands in like this. Clap, pull away. Thumb does most of the gripping. An individual can't grip you very well with only these fingers. The thumb locks it in. So anytime we're trying to break a grip, we always work towards that thumb. What you gotta do? I've got one, sir. All right, good. This is the basic for the first kata. This is called Pinanidan, that the children learn first. Go. The third element to karate is sparring or kumite. We do a lot of point sparring in the dojo. One of you two want to line up and demonstrate sparring and not hurt each other?
Not hurt each other.
Don't strike each other.
Go close.
Movements.
So point sparring is based on striking from here up. Okay. Most matches are 3 points. We're just going to do just a little teeny tiny skit about it. We're not going to really fight. They weren't prepared. They don't have their gear. And they're all two have their gear at the same time. All right, Charlie. Understand? Got it. The kick is not, we don't allow them to kick straight in the head. She got close enough in a point sparring element. In a contact or combat element, that kick will be allowed to take her head down the kneecaps. We don't teach that very often, only with the higher level adult black belts. We don't want students to get hurt to the point where they can't come back or get such bad injury that they can't practice martial arts. Any questions? Yes, ma'am. That is on you. There is no timeline set in our system or in my dojo for you to make a black belt. If you do not know the material and meet the requirements, you will never get a black belt. Many systems, many dojos, if you want to call them that, they're really martial arts businesses, will sign you up contracts. And you pay it through a finance company. So you're locked in. Whether Johnny and Susie ever wants to study the martial arts after the first system, you're financially obligated. That's how they run martial arts businesses. But those martial arts businesses also say, Johnny or Susie will be a black belt in X amount of time under contract. That's selling the martial arts. That is not teaching the martial arts. There are some substance, not saying that they don't learn something in those schools, but it's not what it's meant to be. It was meant to be an everybody thing. Everybody's that's interested to train, but there's curriculum involved in traditional systems. You have to learn the Japanese terms, the Japanese techniques, the history, all of the elements around the martial art. Not just that belt, that fancy belt. I just hit my 40th anniversary of the martial arts. Guess what? I cannot levitate yet. The black belt does nothing. A black belt is this. In Japanese, We count in Japanese. Ich ni san shi go rukusishi hashiku ju. A second degree black belt is a nidan. That's number 2 in Japanese. The first degree black belt is shodan. But number 1 in Japanese is each. Why wouldn't it be each dan?
And have them move out into the
in
shade.
Japanese means beginner. A first degree black belt is a beginner black belt. That means you have that level down, and now you start learning the good stuff, the substance of the system. Okay? The most saddening thing that I witnessed, and I have had many do it to me over time, is an individual stays and trains their heart out as long as it takes to make their first degree black belt. They hang it on the wall, and they never practice again. And they walk around and say, I am a black belt. Well, no, you're not. Think about it. You get a college degree in said whatever it might be, an engineering degree in this, that, and the other, and if you don't practice what you're educated under, you take a job doing something totally different, are you up to par in that field? Absolutely not. And that's what so many people that get black belt do. They think it's an end goal. Well, no, it should be the first goal. The end goal should be to stay with the system and learn it and teach it and pass it on. So, I know I got a little long-winded on that. Any other questions?
Oh, Daryl. Right there in the red.
Where?
The
Yes, sir. That's my ninja kid. Why do I want to be a ninja all the time? It's just cool. Good question. You wish? Well, you know you can take the opportunity to come visit us on Saturday and train with us a little bit. It's totally free. But jiu-jitsu is actually a totally different system than karate. Okay, there's karate rules in it, but there are a lot of differences.
He don't care. He's just excited.
Any other